Are the triggers of your Xbox 360 controller squeaky? Well, we're going to show you how to fix it. Although a somewhat minor problem. Oh yeah.
Take this and this.
It can be very annoying. The process is a little involved, but I found it to be definitely worth it. Here's what you'll need to do this. A Torx T8 security screwdriver, some isopropyl alcohol, and a few Q-tips. There are 7 Torx screws that need to be removed from the back of the controller. 2 on each handle of the controller, 1 to each side of the battery pack, and 1 underneath the serial number sticker underneath the battery pack. All you have to do to remove this screw is to take your screwdriver and push it through the center of the sticker. Once you're through the sticker, just start unscrewing. The screw will tear through the sticker. Afterwards, I tore off the sticker, keeping the controller looking clean. With all the screws removed, there are 2 tabs on each side of the controller that are holding it together still. With a little bit of prying, they should come apart fairly easily. After that, the back of the controller can just be lifted off. Here's where it starts to get a little more involved, taking apart the triggers. First, there is a white arm attached to the peg near the bottom of the trigger. With some light pushing and bending, this should come out fairly easily. To the left and right side of the triggers, there are 2 tabs of plastic that are holding 2 pegs on the trigger in place. Slightly prying these tabs outward, push up on the trigger. Now the only thing holding the trigger onto the controller is the topmost hinge. Slide the trigger towards the outer edge of the controller, and then rotate it off the pegs, making sure not to lose your spring. Next, take a Q-tip and get it slightly damp with rubbing alcohol. Now take this and essentially just clean everything that's involved with the trigger. The inside of the trigger, the posts, and the spring. Once everything is all cleaned and dry, you can put it all back together. The most difficult part being putting the spring back in place. Once you get the trigger hinged back onto the controller, put the spring back into the trigger. Then line the spring up to the peg that it goes onto on the controller. It might take a couple tries, but if you get it lined up right, it all should go back together in one push. Now all you have to do is reattach the arm to the bottom peg of the trigger, and put the controller back together. And that's it. No more trigger squeaky.